I'm joined by former Chelsea goalkeeper Mark Schwarzer to get the very latest on Chelsea's new signing Kepa. 7-year deal, a 23-year-old. Do you think it's a good deal?
Well, only time will tell whether it really is a good deal, but there's no doubt to me that Chelsea would have done a lot of research in this. I know it's sort of come across very sudden, but they would have had it in the back of their mind. They would have known that there's a lot of uncertainty around Thibaut Courtois. There has been throughout the whole of the summer. Actually, if anything, over a number of seasons now, he's always been linked away from the club. So there's no doubt to me that they would have had something on the back burner. So I'm sure that he's a talented young man. We know that he was linked heavily with Real Madrid. It looked like he was going to go there in January. It didn't happen, and then now we see him here in the Premier League, which is exciting. Is amazing. The only reservation I have is the fact that at Chelsea they want to win things now, and we take the example of David De Gea. He took nearly 18 months to settle in and start to really hit the form that we see him and we're accustomed to now in the Premier League. So they may need to be a little bit patient with him.
In terms of his style, first of all, we hear that he's not very tall, 6'2" or 1, depending on where you read it. But we hear that he plays Sarri's style, playing out from the back, that kind of a goalkeeper.
I hope so, because that's what Sarri's been adamant about, that he wants to play out the back. He did it at Napoli, and he wanted to do that here at Chelsea. I watched him in the pre-season. I was away with him in Australia, and very much was all about starting every movement was started with a goalkeeper out the backs. The build-ups, and the goalkeeper, whoever they were going to bring in, had to be able to do that. And Kepa is one of those players. I mean, he's Spanish. They're normally technically very, very good with their feet, and I'm sure he'll be expected to play out at the back.
Is it disappointing the way that Chelsea fans have somewhat turned on Courtois? Because I think for family reasons, he's said for a very long time now that his heart is in Madrid, he wants to go back there. Perhaps it hasn't been done, although we never know what happens behind the scenes. But what's your gut feeling on the way that it's been handled?
I think the relationship between Thibaut Courtois and the Chelsea fans has almost since day one, since he's arrived, has been a strained one at times. And I think it's also because a lot of the times, he had been linked away from the club, and he never really came out and distanced himself from it, never really came out and committed to the fans publicly that this is where he wants to be, he doesn't want to be anywhere else, and which is understandable. Then fans don't necessarily then warm to someone. So I think that relationship's always been like that. I don't think it really affected Thibaut Courtois. I know him well. He's a good guy. He works hard, and he's a very, very good goalkeeper. And he showed at the World Cup how talented he is. And this is a next big step for him in his career.
Do you think he's better than Keylor Navas? Yes,
absolutely. Yeah, and there's no doubt to me that Thibaut Courtois is quite a lot ahead of Navas in terms of goalkeeping ability. I'm a big fan of Thibaut, the way he plays, his style of football, and I'm absolutely adamant he'll go to Madrid and be a huge success.
And what about Rob Green? That one was a little bit of a surprise for many, but can you see why Chelsea did that deal?
Absolutely, and I think it's important to have experienced players, particularly goalkeepers, on your books. The big clubs, you see it time and time again. My time when I came here at the club, they were always looking for 3, 4 very experienced goalkeepers, from number 1 all the way down to number 4. And I think it's important for any big club because there's so many games on, there's injuries, problems, and you need to have that depth.
Okay, thank you very much. Time will tell whether he's a success, but 7 years he'll be the 23-year-old here at Stamford Bridge.